Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the time-traveling toy collector, and this is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Stunticon Breakdown. It's the final Stunticon to be released and the final one needed to join with his Stunticon teammates to become Menasor. That's for another video, but yep, we finally got Breakdown in hand, and overall not a bad figure. He does suffer from being a bit of a retool, as many of you will already be aware, and he does have this kibble quite substantially on his back. He has a large backpack, although that backpack is reminiscent of the G1 iteration of Breakdown. It's also one of those backpacks that officially shouldn't look the way it looks here. Much like one of his Stunticon companions, and we're not going to get into this now, the official transformation is that these two sections containing the wheels actually drop down and sit slightly below Breakdown in his robot mode. I'm a bit on the fence about that. I think it does look different. I think we have become a bit sensitized to the fact that the Transformers look, to all intents and purposes, human-esque, 2 arms, 2 legs, etc. One of the things I like about the Michael Bay films, yes, I said that out loud, but go with me on this, is that it doesn't overly shy away from the fact that the robot forms don't have to conform to humanoid design. They are Cybertronian design, so maybe they don't have 2 legs and 2 arms as we would recognize them. So some bold choices there, and I can appreciate those. That's not a critique on the films themselves, and I'm not going there in this video. But I think, yeah, I think this is one of the issues that we can sometimes have, but I think this is certainly neater than having these 2 panels down. But by the same token, I don't mind the 2 panels down, because if that's the design of what he looks like in his robot mode, then, you know, it's not for me to say you look wrong. But, you know, they're our toys, so we can ultimately present and display them how we like. So that's all I'm going to kind of say about that. Let's get in and have a little look at the figure. Rudimentary stuff. Posability is pretty good. There are sufficient joints around to give him flexibility and posability, should you want to be using him for toy photography. This is a little bit of a nuisance. It's presented as a weapon. It's obviously the spoiler from his car mode. But yeah, we're supposed to assume, I don't know whether it's some sort of deadly Stunticon boomerang, but yeah. And what's also annoying is that we don't really have anywhere meaningful we can store it if we don't want him holding it. And I don't really want to lose it. So for now, poor old Breakdown has to carry it. So that's a shame. He does have a very nice face sculpt. The red face with the, I think they're yellow. They could be a pale green, but I think they're yellow eyes. Whatever I do, I can't quite get the light just right. Yeah, I think they're yellow eyes, but it's a very decent face sculpt. And another thing that I particularly like is the overall styling of the head. For those of you who had, like I did, the Generation 1 Stunticons, you'll know that the heads, while smaller, were like this, so they could peg into Menasor's Motormaster's extremities to make the full combined mode. Obviously, we're a bit more advanced now, and that's not quite how it's going to work, and we'll see all of that in a upcoming video. Yeah, there's also no Decepticon logo on his chest, and there's certainly space for one. The only place we get one is on his backpack, which of course is upside down in robot mode. So I'm a bit disappointed about that. We do have this other weapon here, which just pegs into his hand. Very bog standard looking blaster, not too much to write home about. But, you know, it is what it is. I've just noticed that there is in fact a port there. I don't know, but it might be that that can fit in there and it can look super cool. I'm not going to try it though, as I fear it will not. Otherwise, we've got some quite hollow parts here. I appreciate at this class of figure that's possibly quite likely to happen. So that's a shame, but it's somewhere for his hands to go imminently. So I let that go at this, as I say, at this class of figure, but it's still a shame. It's still a bit obvious. So taking it down from the face sculpt and the head sculpt, we've got some quite nice detailing on the upper torso. We've got some nice silver. We've got some nice blue there. We do get a waist rotation, which is, of course, nice to see, and adds to that sort of playability in terms of photography. You've got the mobility and flexibility at the hips. We've got thigh rotation. We've got knee, excuse me, it's still quite stiff, my figure, knee rotation, clicking back there. Then we've got these rather apparent and slightly chunky feet with these wheels here that don't go anywhere, they don't fold in, which is, I think, maybe a shame. But equally, I've seen worse legs. You know, these are not the worst legs that I've seen, and there's a lot of detailing there. They're certainly, yes, we've got a little bit of hollow space there, but it's not too hollow. So overall, from the front, I think he's a decent breakdown. Again, the back is dominated by the backpack, but you know, that's G1E and it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And you know, it should have these bits sort of anchored down a bit. I'm not too fussed about doing that this time around. Not too much detailing on the back, but the back of the legs look good. They look solid. They don't look overly protruding. So yeah, looks good, looks great. As a Decepticon soldier, I am happy with that. Will I be happy with him in car mode? Well, let's transform him and find out. Well, here he is, all transformed up into his car mode, and yeah, it's not beautifully done. Some aspects of it have come together far better than others. I'm going to go straight out and say it. I think I put the spoiler on backwards, so I'll definitely say that first. There we go. Swap that around. Easy fix. So that's done. That'll teach me to rush it. Some nice gun storage under there. His weapon does fit under there. And just as an update to the last, no visible head syndrome, which is quite nice. Does look like the underside of a toy car. This does attach, by the way, to the, I checked the instructions, and there is that port will accept this, so it can be like an arm guard when he's using the blaster. So as an aside, that is something you can do, which I hadn't checked and didn't realise. Okay, I'm going to tell you, this was not fun to transform in parts. Parts of it were really good. Parts of it I really enjoyed. Other parts of it I enjoyed far less. There were some real, for me, clearance issues around the arms, the bonnet section and the windshield. Closing the legs in gave me some clearance issues. It was really tricky in the sequence in which the instructions suggested. To the point that I'm actually not looking forward to transforming him back into robot mode, to be perfectly honest. Because I'm not completely sure that some of those plastic elements will survive. However, we shall see. He's got another element of transformation before then. He doesn't roll particularly well because there's an awful lot going on underneath. We've got those feet there. We've got the... I don't think I can get them in any more than they are. And there's the chest section there, which is compacted to conceal the head, etc. But it doesn't seem to go in any further. But again, it was a rushed transformation, so I may have done it a little bit too quickly. Car detail then is pretty good. You know, it's not bad. We've all probably seen the various other videos of other reviewers who've commented on the fact that it isn't akin to the G1 original version of the car, probably due to licensing issues. So I'm not going to go down that route because a lot of people have done it. He is for me, he is reminiscent for the G1. I don't have the G1s anymore. I don't know where they are. I hope one day they turn up in a box that I've as yet to unpack. But my gut tells me that isn't going to happen. But it's very reminiscent for me, and I say reminiscent, not identical, to the G1 variation of this figure. I really like it. It's quite lightweight. I think majority of the detailing is fine. It would have been nice if we'd have had some colour or some paint apps or something just to pull out the lights and the registration on the rear and the front, because we've had that before in other vehicles, other vehicle modes. So it wouldn't have been a huge additional outlay, I don't think. Again, it's a shame that we've got a different approach to the wheels front and back. They do feel quite loose, so I think it's more to do with the ground clearance than it is about them being able to actually roll, I'm afraid. But yeah, we've got the peg at the back and the pin at the front. I mean, it wouldn't have killed them to have had pins front and back, I don't think. We've got translucent plastic for the side windows and the front window, and you can't really see anything inside. There's a suggestion of seat backs, so we're not the illusion isn't shattered, but nor is it reinforced. It's just, you know, we've got windscreens that are tinted, and why not? Lovely, let's take that and go with it. So all in all, yeah, nice figure, nice car. Some minor niggles, really. I was going to say annoyances, but they're not really annoyances. They're just minor niggles around some aspects of what we have there. So I just wanted to see whether that was a scuff or no, that's a pin, so that's fine. But there's yeah, they could have done a little more around the paint apps, but you know, they could have. If they're not going to go around the paint apps, I would have much rather they'd made sure that the clearance in the engineering was more comfortable to fulfill. We've got some nice wing mirrors there that are very apparent. It may well be that a third party can get some lovely labels for this, maybe some toy hacks or something like that. If that's your thing. I'm personally not going to probably upgrade it that way, because I kind of like it as is. But yeah, that's my minor niggles. So yeah, there we have Breakdown in his alt mode, and I think he looks pretty good. I'm just going to pop him back there a little bit, because what I haven't done yet, but I will do it now, is just have a look at the packaging. Particularly because now we have that plastic-free packaging, except for tape and glue, but so not paper-free packaging. But to all intents and purposes, a good valiant effort for this deluxe class. There's the car mode, there, Breakdown, the big window that we have where there is no plastic, and then everything else is cardboard. There's no backdrop for these figures, of course. There we have robot mode for Breakdown, and a nice close-up of his face sculpt, which is very similar to what we see. Then we have the plastic-free packaging that they're proud of, quite rightly. Some more characters from the range. Oh, drag strip. And then the back, of course, is the obligatory product shot that does remind us that this is 4 of 5, although it came out 5th. 4 of 5, and will combine to form the mighty Menasor, and that will be something that we shall be looking at very soon. But in the meantime, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you like Breakdown? Have you managed to track down a Breakdown? Do you now have your entire set of Stunticons? Are you excited to see and complete your collection of Stunticons? And are you looking forward to putting them into action as the mighty Menasor? I certainly am looking forward to putting them together for mighty Menasor. And that will be one of my upcoming videos. So if you do want to see that, by all means, hit the like button just so that the algorithm gets a nudge and knows that people are interested. And of course, hit the subscribe button and turn on those notifications. That way you'll never miss an upcoming video. I've really appreciated you having you with me for the last 20 or so minutes. It's been great. You've been a fantastic audience. I have been the time traveling toy collector, and this has been Transformers Legacy Evolution Breakdown, the last member of the Stunticons team to be released, and shortly we shall be seeing Transformers Legacy Menasor in all of his glory. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you in the next video, and remember that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever.